Boys by BA. Boys by BA.
Hi everyone, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Bars by BA, and I am BA. So before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to the people who have already subscribed to this channel. I'll be sure to shout y'all out every time I get on this thing, man. So y'all the reason why we do this. Y'all the reason why I take the time out to share and to just really pour into others. So thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity to do ministry, and again, to do ministry well. So how many of you guys have ever been in a storm before? Whether if it was a tornado, a hailstorm, a flood, or shoot, even a dust storm, all right? We all have been in a storm before. We all have experienced some type of storm in our life, physical storm. But a lot of us have been in storms emotionally, spiritually, and just the list goes on, okay? So what we're gonna talk about today is finding good during the storm. Finding good during the storm. And we'll be coming from Matthew chapter 8, verses 24 through 27. That's Matthew chapter 8, verses 24 through 27. A few weeks ago, we had a major storm that came through our neighborhood. It knocked down some trees, it knocked down some power lines, there was some flooding, a lot of the lights were out. It was just crazy. And on top of that, I had to go to work the next morning. I had to drive to work in this storm. I had to maneuver through trees, trash cans, police barricades. It was a big deal. And as I was driving, God put in my spirit, he said, although the storm had passed, although you were in the storm, there's still some good in this storm. And I said, how is there some good? And the good that was in that storm was that my wife and my kids, they happened to be on spring break, which means when I had to leave the house, they was asleep. They was snug. They didn't have a care in the world. I had to get up and I had to go to work. But my family was well. My wife didn't have to drive through the trees and the things of that nature, because, you know, men, we're just better drivers. All right, don't stop watching, ladies. JK, LOL, just kidding. Will it in? All right, but I was just excited, and I was glad that my wife didn't have to drive in the storm. And then God put this in my spirit, finding good during the storm. And in the text, Jesus, he was on a ship with his disciples, and a storm came out on the waters that they were traveling. And in the text, it's in your text, it says that Jesus was sleeping at the bottom of the ship. And while Jesus was asleep, the disciples were up top trying to find their way, trying to maneuver on the seas, okay? And the waters, as you can imagine, were going crazy. The winds were going crazy. It was just a real crazy looking scene. And now, keep in mind, these are experienced fishermen. This is not their first storm. This is not their first time being out on water. But yet, this particular time, they just felt like they couldn't handle it. Man, ain't that us? Sometimes in life, man, we've done life before. We've done life. We've been on earth a few years now. But every now and then, there are just some storms that just feels like it's going to get the best of us. There's just some storms that just feels like we're not going to make it out of this one. There's some storms that just feels like this may be my last stop. I don't know if I can go anymore. So although the disciples were feeling some type of way about the storm, they went to Jesus and they woke Jesus up. I'm paraphrasing. Say, hey man, look, Jesus, come on man, get up. It's a storm going on up there. And you know, Jesus, I would have to imagine that as he stretched and looked, paraphrasing, what's wrong with y'all? Jesus, it's raining. You don't hear the thunder. You don't hear the claps of thunder. You don't hear the lightning. You don't see this water. We soaked. Jesus, you down here. You just sleeping. Jesus probably stretched. Checked his Apple Watch. Well, he probably had a Parawatch. But he checked his Parawatch. And he said, cool, no big deal. In the text, it says Jesus goes up on top of the upper deck, because Jesus was sleeping on the bottom deck. That lets us know that there had to be an upper deck. All right, and it says that Jesus speaks to the storm. But first, Jesus asks a question: why ye of little faith? Right? Ain't that us? We all have some little faith every now and then. So bar number one is none of us are exempt from the storm. Everybody in life will face a tough time. Everybody in life will face a difficult moment. Everybody in life will have a season that just feels like it's not going to get better. They'll have a season where it feels like this may be it. This is why I'll throw in the towel. But I'm telling you guys right now, everybody has storms. Everybody has storms. Matter of fact, I'll put it like this. Even people who travel first class experience turbulence. Even people who travel first class experience turbulence. Just because you're sitting in first class doesn't make you exempt from the storm. Just because you got a lot of money in your bank account doesn't make you exempt from the storm. Just because you got 4, 5, 6 and you're working on degrees 7 and 8, it doesn't make you exempt from the storms of life. So bar number one is we all have storms. And Jesus asked the question, "O ye of little faith," right? Well, basically Jesus is saying, why y'all tripping? Y'all been walking with me. You seen me do some miracles. You seen me in action, but yet and still your faith is small. And that's us. We've walked with Jesus. We know the scriptures. We know Jesus is on the main line. Call him up, tell him what you want. We know all that. But when stuff gets fan, man, we cower down. And we say, Lord, save us or we're going to perish. Save us or we're going to die. All right? And Jesus asked a question. He said, "Oh, ye of little faith." Hebrews 11:6 says, "It is impossible to please God without faith." Hebrews 11:6 says, it's in your text, read it. It is impossible to please God without faith. So that means that faith is a must-have during your storm, which brings us to bar number 2. Faith is a must-have during your storm. I know where you are right now. You say, you don't understand. It's raining like it's never rained before. I know. You're saying you don't understand. It's hailing like it's never hailed before. You say, you don't understand. It's flooding like it's never flooded before in my life. And I may not understand, but let me tell you this, God overstands, okay? So whatever you're dealing with, whatever your storm may be, whatever your situation is, God knows. Not only does he know, but he cares, all right? So that's bar number 1, that's bar number 2. And then it says that Jesus speaks to the storm. And then it says that the sea, the waters and the winds and the claps of thunder and the lightning, it says that it stops. And then there was a calm, right? So bar number 3 is you have to learn, key word is learn. You have to learn how to find the good during your storm. Let's look at the good that the disciples had. They had a boat. We start there. Jesus was on the boat. We start there. They were not alone on the boat. They had some company. It wasn't just one disciple. It was a number of them. You can start there. They were smart enough to know that the situation had got out of their hands. So they said, look, let me take this situation to Jesus. Okay, you can start there. Now look, let's find the good in your life. You got a life. That's good. You got people around you who care about you, who speak things into you. That's good. Let's look at the good. We're going through the good in your storm. Your storm is not over. You're still in it. I heard a wise man once say, the best thing about being half dead is that you half alive. That's a bar. The best thing about being half dead is that you half alive. You're half alive, okay? So we got to learn how to find the good as people and say, God, I know I'm in a storm. I know this looks like this thing's going to take me out. But God, I'm determined to find the good. God, I'm determined to seek your face. All right? So that's what we got to do. We got to do that. We got to know, bar number 1, that everybody experiences storms. Bar number 2, faith is a must-have during your storm. That's 1, and that's 2, right? Number 3 is what? We have to learn how to find the good during our storm. We have to learn how to find the good during our storms. That's what the disciples did. They said, look, we ain't got it all, but we got Jesus. Her old songwriter said, I turned it over to the Lord, and that's right, he worked it out. So as we get up out of here, hopefully this was helpful. I know it wasn't as long as last time. It may be. I'm not even looking at the time. But thank you so much, man. Like, share, subscribe. Wait, I know you said, BA, what's the gold bar? I got you. So the gold bar for today is simply this. Your storm may be a flood to you, but it's a sprinkle to God. Your storm may be a flood to you, but it's a sprinkle to God. Man, have a great rest of the week, man. Leave some comments, share, like, subscribe, man. Super excited. Again, we'll be back next week. We're going to hit them every week. We ain't playing. I'm out.